to stop breaking your rules, you just need discipline, okay? And it's wrong, completely wrong. So you need to give me 8 minutes, stay on this webinar, and watch through to the end, because we're going to talk about what's really going on, why you're really breaking your rules. And then I'm going to go through 2 red flags. These are 2 red flags that if you're doing these things, you can then stop doing them. Why? Because you're going to be aware that you're doing them. Most things we do wrong in our trading, we can't fix because we're never aware of them. So this is really, really powerful stuff. If you haven't met me before, my name's Marisa. I'm a full-time trader and I'm a trading psychology expert. I coach traders on mindset and psychology and emotional regulation, because that is what's keeping you from achieving what you want. That's what is keeping you from being consistent and profitable. It's not another strategy. It's not more indicators in the charts. It's your emotional regulation, which is ultimately your mindset and your psychology. So that's what I do. I help you become profitable. So who am I and why should you listen to me? My name is Marisa. I'm the founder of Method Trading. Before I became a trader, I worked in regulatory compliance for investment banks in London. I'm now a full-time trader, and I do swing trading on Forex and US stocks. I'm a crypto investor and high timeframe trader, and I'm also a long-term value investor in the global stock markets. In 2025, my portfolio surpassed $1 million. I'm a trading mindset expert, and I'm a trained coach. I've worked with Hollywood success coach Bernard Hiller, and I also trained with trader and CEO of City Traders Imperium, Daniel Martin. And finally, I'm a performance coach for City Traders Imperium, a prop firm based in London. So what do? I help struggling traders get unstuck and become profitable. So I want to start with, why do we not understand why we're breaking our trading rules? Why do we think it's discipline? Because that's what we're taught. 99% of the trading information out there, the education, the gurus teaching you things, are not teaching you what's really keeping you from being profitable. They're not teaching you how to be consistent, because it's hard to teach you the psychology side. So they teach you the easy stuff, and then they just throw in a few psychology words. So work on your psychology or get discipline. And it's doing you a real disservice, because getting discipline, it's making it your fault that, okay, here's all the information, but it's your fault you can't make it profitable because you don't have any discipline. That is not true. And I'm very passionate about this because I was stuck in the cycle for far too many years. I think I was one of those people that was stuck in the cycle the longest. I've yet to meet someone that went round and round these shops as long as I did. But when the penny dropped for me, when I went, this is all bullshit, and this is what's really going to help me, everything changed. So I am very passionate about this, but it's also we're working against a mountain of disinformation. Now, you lack discipline is just the biggest lie. You do not lack discipline, because you cannot have discipline. It's not a thing. Discipline is an outcome of other things. And there's quite a few things in that bucket. And we're not going to fix all those things. We're not going to work on all those things today. Okay. But today is about awareness. It's about you kind of going, it's not me that just needs discipline. Now, what happens when you believe that you just lack discipline is that you start to force discipline. So every day after you've just done everything wrong at the charts, you're like, that's it. Tomorrow, I promise myself I won't do that, and I will do this. And it's big promises, and it's berating yourself, which is telling yourself off, and hating yourself because you don't have discipline. But you can't force discipline, because it's not a thing. Discipline is just an outcome of other things. Now, what are those other things? They are how badly you want something, how clear your goals are. The clearer your goals are about what you want, the easier it is to be disciplined. The better your beliefs are about that you will achieve that goal, the easier your discipline will just happen. The clearer, the better, the bigger, the more you really know what you want, can see what you want, believe that you can get it, then discipline just comes along because you've got a real sense of motivation to get up and do the right things to get that thing. Now, this isn't just about taking 5 minutes and going, oh, but I really want to be a trader. That's not enough. I'm talking about a level of goals, beliefs, desire, a level that you've probably never ever gone to. And that's what I work with clients on. When you get to those levels, discipline just arrives. Now, that's not all. You have to engineer everything you do to support discipline so that discipline just shows up. And that is part of your trading system. How do you show up every day? What is your system? Now, I'm going to go through 2 red flags today that's going to be very clear to you whether you have a system or you don't have a system, because the other issue is that sometimes we think we have a system and we don't. And I'm really talking from experience here. I also thought I had a system. I thought I had rules. And when it was made clear to me that I didn't, I could then go, I get what's missing. And then when you start filling in the gaps, suddenly things start working. Now, my dog is crying. Ziggy! Okay, hopefully she'll stop. So look, the first place to start is just understanding what's actually going on and understanding what the disinformation is. There is so much out there. Now, are you listening to the wrong people? The best way to tell is that generally people that are selling strategies, that are selling things en masse to loads of people, that have so many, just have a huge following, it's usually a red flag, because helping traders is a very personalized, bespoke activity. You are very bespoke, specific to you. And if somebody isn't taking the time to sit and have a conversation with you to understand of all these things, what I'm saying on this webinar is generic information. You now have to take it and distill it, change it, make it specific to you. You've got to figure out what are your gaps. What do you do? What don't you do? What are you doing well? What are you not doing? But when there's all this disinformation, it's very hard to see the clear picture. So those are red flags in terms of you're listening to the wrong people when they're just trying to sell strategies, indicators, signals, whatever, en masse, because they know it's such a crime, I feel, because they know that you'll never be able to make those work. And then they blame you and they go, you don't have discipline, go and get some. It's garbage. Okay. Now I want to move on to the red flags. And before we move on, I just want to check everything is tickety-boo. Okay, it's all going. So 2 red flags. And this is very relevant at the moment because February was a very difficult month. And I think that some traders, especially if you're not consistent yet, if you're not profitable yet, if you're still blowing accounts, I think February was a tough month and very likely blown an account or a couple because the markets were just rattled, inconsistent, ranging. A lot of them were ranging or kind of taking big big drops, and it's just the perfect storm for taking out undisciplined traders. Again, the lack of discipline is not your fault. It's because your system isn't designed to support your discipline. I'm going to talk about the things that you're probably missing. But in a month like February, it's so important to have a system that allows you to be disciplined. Now, from my personal experience, January was a fantastic month. My strategy produced some of its highest performing rewards kind of ratio. And then in February, it's produced one of its lowest ever. Now, I missed one trade in February because I only had 6 trades. The whole month, there were only 6 setups. Now, I showed up every day. I show up twice a day. That's when I trade. And so that's, let's say, on average, 20 working days times 2 sessions. That's 40 sessions. And of those 40 sessions, only 6 of them produced something for me to do. I sat on the sideline for most of February. And when you're sitting on the sideline, one is you've got to sit on the sideline, so you need that patience. But the longer you sit on the sideline, the more you also start slowly just doubting yourself, like, am I seeing my charts correctly? Am I avoiding things? Am I forcing not trading because I'm scared to trade? So you got to keep checking in with yourself on everything. But I was doing a lot of work, and I was going, no, I am following these rules every day, not a trade, not a trade, not a trade. But also the trades that looked like trades, but then ultimately didn't meet my criteria, the next day they would have been losses. So had I not been as disciplined as I am, I would have actually had a lot of losses, because there were a lot of, I don't want to call them fake outs, because fake outs look very real and they are actually trades that you will take. These were quasi fake outs, but they didn't meet the criteria that I had, so they weren't fake outs and I didn't fall for them. But what a frustrating month. And I came up at the end of the month slightly in profit. So it was essentially a break-even month, but I had a couple of hours up. That was all I had for a whole month of work. Now compare that to January. January was my best month on record. So it's this, sometimes it's good and it's easier, and the trades present and you can check, like, are they right, and they work out. And other months, your strategy should keep you out. And I kind of could reflect at the end of February and went, I've got such a great system. And that's kind of what's made me today think about these 2 red flags, that if you don't have these in your system, it's great to know that you don't, and you need to go and get them. Okay, so the first one is red flag. Are you trading every day? Do you actually have trades, or believe you have trades every day? Because every day is not a tradable day. Every day does not suit every strategy. There isn't a strategy that's going to suit every day. So if you are trading every day, it's a red flag for you to go and look. Are you every day finding trades? Are you forcing trades? Because it becomes very difficult then to see what are the good days and when are the bad days, because every day you believe you've got trades. So it always feels like the same, but some days just the outcome's terrible and some days the outcome is good. Now, why do we do this? Again, this isn't your fault. But when you have a normal job, there's very few jobs that I can think of that you go to work and then it's like, oh, there's nothing to do today. Let's all just sit around and find something else to do. No. Jobs, employment will find you something to do. We're taught that if you're not doing something, you're not productive. You won't achieve your goals if you're not doing something. So you try and bring that into trading. and it doesn't work. It's actually undoing any good stuff you did. So if I had that approach, February would have probably destroyed my account because I would have been finding trades. And if my rules weren't as clear to me as they are, I'm sure I could find trades every day, find something, but it wouldn't have been a good trade, and it most likely wouldn't have worked out, and I would have had loss after loss after loss. And what happens is when you have losses that in hindsight you go, actually, that wasn't a great trade, it builds up psychologically. And that's when you start to FOMO, revenge trade, blow the account, because you start to lose control because the pressure mounts. The pressure mounts. The more you see mistakes you've made, the more that pressure mounts. And when it bursts, that's when you're actually out of control and you're revenge trading, and then you're blowing an account. And we know what it's like. It's like the account is blown before you even know it. You almost have no conscious realization of what you've done. That's what happens when the dam breaks and that pressure is released. So it's really important to, one, identify, are you trading every day? It's a red flag for you to go and look at your strategy and go, I shouldn't be trading every day. It's not normal because the markets don't work like that. There are days when the markets will be ranging, trending, looking for liquidity. And these different market days don't suit every strategy. Sometimes your strategy will not work great under ranging conditions. Sometimes it will not work great under liquidity grabs, extreme liquidity grabs. And by liquidity grabs, I just mean that the big money movers are filling orders. They haven't filled all their orders, so they're searching. You can also call it liquidity hunts. They're just searching for orders because they've got a lot of orders to fill. Trading the markets is just order flow. So when it's ranging, they're filling up orders, and when it's kind of got liquidity spikes, grabbing liquidity, it's just them needing more orders to be filled. And then when price runs, guess where it runs to? Liquidity, just on a different time frame. So red flag one, are you trading every day? That's all I want you to take away from this is, are you trading every day? You have to answer that question for yourself. And then you've got to put the question to yourself, are you forcing trades? And the answer is going to be very likely. Now, be careful when you do this exercise because you're also going to find reasons for why that was a good trade to take. You need to be very clinical on this, okay? But that red flag should send you off to go and do some work on that. You should not be trading every single day. And if you are, you shouldn't be taking the max amount of trades every single day. It's not normal in a market. Now, the second red flag is that, are you jumping in and trading on whatever time frame you are, or do you have a filtering system on a higher time frame? Do you have context? That's what I'm basically saying. Do you have a different view of the market that tells you today is a trading day, today is not a trading day? Because how you want to differentiate if it's a trading day and not a trading day is not because you're sitting there searching for trades and then you go, I haven't found any, so it's not a trading day. That's not how it works. Because if you're searching for red cars, all you will see is red cars. If you're there searching for your trades, you will find trades to take. I promise you. That's not how you're going to decide whether you have trading days or not trading days. You're going to step back and you're going to have a filter that you look at that tells you these are the circumstances in which my trading works. So today's a trading day. Let me go now clinically see if there are trades or not. But you need that filter that at the outset keeps you out before you go and look at the details. As soon as you're into those details, you will find what you're looking for. That's the risk here. That's why the second red flag is if you don't have a filter, you can also call it context. can also call it, if you don't know which direction you're trading in today. When I trade, I only have one direction I'm allowed to trade in, and that direction is set by a higher time frame filter and context. And when certain things haven't happened on the higher time frame, I can, within a few minutes, actually less than a few minutes, assess whether it's a trading day for me or not. It's very quick. So when I don't have a trading day, there's a bit of paperwork I fill out because I want to keep a record of why it's not a trading day. Because if I make a mistake on that, I want to be able to just go through and do an audit and understand, what did I see, what was the mistake, and how can I fix it. That's it. But when it's not a trading day, I don't then go looking for trades. I work on other things. You need to be busy as a trader. You need to be busy with things outside of trading. You need to have other things to do, because on non-trading days, don't go looking for trades, is the point here. Now, on non-trading days, you can do back testing. That's a great thing to do. You can go through that list of things you're not clear on, or mistakes you've made in the past. You can go and sort those out. You can do things around your trading. You just can't trade. But sometimes you also need days where, if you don't have a trading day, you need to do other things. So get other things in your life that aren't trading, because when it is a trading day, when your filter is ticked, when it's a trading day, you want to show up, you want to be there, and you want to be there with the right frame of mind, the right intention, the right level of precision. You want to be there in the right professional ability. You want to be a professional that shows up to trade. And you want to be able to do that on the trading days. You don't want those days to come around and you're completely exhausted because you've been sitting there looking for trades on non-trading days. You want to show up refreshed and with the right intention. So that's how trading works on a mindset psychology level, is you have to be you're the instrument that shows up. So you need to show up in the right frame of mind, with the right amount of sleep, having done exercise, having seen family and friends. You need a very fulfilling life to be able to show up on your trading days and do the right things. If you found this content helpful, then hit subscribe on my channel, hit the notification bell so that you get a notification when I've got other webinars coming up. I do a lot of training here. It's all for free. And if you want coaching, hit me up, send me an email for a free discovery call.